Ready to rock?
All set? All right, good evening, everyone. Call the Select Board meeting to order for today, Tuesday, October 22. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Oh, I didn't see my Boy Scout over there. I'm sorry I missed you there. I would have had you lead the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, so we'll start with public session. Does anyone, is there anyone who'd like to share ideas, opinions, or ask questions regarding town government? Mr. O'Brien and Mrs. Colella. I've got Colella's on my brain. We were just rehashing some Colella stories, so sorry to Jim. Mr. Colella.
Well, first of all, we're here on behalf of the Friends of Hopkinton. Sorry, Pat O'Brien, 13 Ray Street.
And Dale Danahy, 25 East Main Street.
Almost neighbors.
So we're here on behalf of the Friends of Hopkinton, who put on Family Day, and we just wanted to give the town a recap of our day, and to let everybody know that despite a few obstacles, it was a very successful and productive day. First of all, I'd like to thank Elaine and Norman. We met with First for all the support and help that they gave us to start off this event again this year. This is our third annual. And then we spoke with the Lieutenant Porter, who helped us with the police department. Of course, under the direction of Chief Lee.
Who?
And we dealt with Deputy Chief Miller, who worked with Chief Slamman to get us the fire department end of it. And special kudos go to the highway department, and we work with Mike Manza, who got all their department behind us. So we had all the blocks ready to go on this event. Unfortunately, we couldn't control the mosquitoes and couldn't control the weather. So we also spoke with the health department, and we're in good contact with them from the beginning, and they gave us the advisory on the mosquitoes, and we worked with them, and we made the decision to not have the fireworks this year. So unfortunately, a lot of people are looking forward to it, but it was just best that we didn't have it. So we canceled those. We started the event, and we had a few showers here and there, but the event went on, and that's where I'm going to turn it over to Miss Colella, Mrs. Danahy.
We had almost the same amount of organizations that came in the past 2 years. So despite the weather, they still came. So it's kind of difficult because a lot of the organizations are running between Poly Arts and Family Day. But we started an hour early to give us the opportunity to finish a little bit earlier before dusk. So I think the crowds were fairly substantial. I mean, in the past couple of years, we've had more. And I think because as soon as we started it at 2 o'clock, it poured bucketfuls till almost 10 minutes at 3. So cars were coming in, they took off, but they all came back. So I think if we had had fireworks, we definitely would have had a larger crowd. But we are very happy with how it came off. I think everybody had a good time. We try to poll people as to, did they enjoy the event, the kids, the adults. We had live bands, we had 5 food trucks. We did run into a little bit of difficulty because we pushed it back, that one of our food trucks, couldn't make the commitment because they had another one earlier. But everybody got fed, everybody had a good time from what we would do, from what we could see, and we hope to do it again next year. And we appreciate the support of this board, the schools, the police, the fire. It just helps make it run smoother when everybody's on the same team.
Absolutely. So as a member of the Select Board, I'd like to say thank you to both of you for all the countless hours that you guys have put in to organize this. I would say that you can gauge the success not on how much money you take in, or not on the amount of people that were there, but for the people that were there with the smiles on their face. And the fact that growing up in Hopkinton, it used to be family day every day. And there were neighborhoods, and you went out and you played, and I had an argument with your neighbor, and then 2 minutes later it was over and you were having dinner over there. That whole environment in the country is pretty much gone. With you guys going out there and sticking your neck out there and doing what you do, to see those kids out there having such a great time, and the parents having a great time, and everybody, yeah, it would have been great to have the fireworks there, but they didn't happen, and the show went on, and it was awesome. I was there for 4 hours, maybe 5 hours of it. The bands were great. I'm always partial to the food trucks, and they were wonderful. So I applaud both of you and everybody on your committee, not just you two, but everyone on your committee, for all the hard work and doing it for noble reasons, for bringing the town together. So thank you very much. And open it up to anyone on the board. Mr. Hurd?
I think it's a great tradition now in Hopkinton. I mean, it's not that old, but it's there. This year, it changed this year because of the fireworks situation in Triple E. It's changed for Friday night football too. I mean, there's lots of things that are a little bit different this year, so we all feel that. But we're going to support it again next year. I don't see why we wouldn't. It's part of the fabric of the community now, and we'll, I think during the budget process, make sure we keep that line item there. A quick business question. I heard at the fireworks, we were refunded for the fireworks, so we could apply that to next year or whatever it is we need to do for your organization. So I think it's all good, and I'm excited to keep it going.
I wasn't on this board during the time, but I was on the Marathon Fund Committee, and we've seen you and Annie every year for the last few years, and we were very, very glad to help out and continue this tradition. Might be a little more difficult this year for them.
So as a select board member, I can say I'm proud to be able to support your the family day. It's I had a great time every time I've gone. Well, one time I've gone. But what I'm proud of for you is bringing the community together. It's organizing something that's meant for people to get together, have fun, and just enjoy the day. And regrettably, you face some obstacles, but it's not going to happen every year. So I'll be in full support next year. As a resident of Hopkinton, speaking as a resident, it's just a good time. It's just a great day to be out there with your family and just to meet people. So hats off to you. Keep up the good work. You have my full support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could just say closing, and you mentioned the Marathon Fund Committee, and of course, I didn't mention that in the beginning, but there's so many organizations and committees and people that helped us do this event, and I'm not able to list them all right now, but it's a whole community effort, and we'd like to thank everyone in that. And in closing, I know there's 7 or so, well, got some more, at least 7 notable, visible, important people here in this room, and I think we've had 1 volunteer for the dunk tank, right?
Yeah.
In the past. So we will plant the seed, give you enough time to get the proper attire, and we'll talk again next year.
Well, you can.
I think there's one that relishes in it.
You can pencil me in, but again, as I say, every time the dunk tank's brought up, I need to go before Mr. Catino. That tank a little warmer for him.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
You wonder why no one's lining up to do it. Yeah. For fun, these.
Yeah, he's got the.
Here. He hasn't signed these.
All right, so we're going to move to the consent agenda. Let's see, so number 1 is the board minutes. We'll consider to approve the 10/8/19 select board minutes. And number 2 are gifts. The select board will consider accepting a $500 gift to the Hopkinton Canine gift account from the Happy Retriever in Holliston from a fundraising event at Weston Nurseries. Anyone like to break any of those out?
Move the consent agenda as written.
Okay. Seconded?
Second?
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed and abstained? It's good. Okay. I see the Center for the Arts is here. So our next item is the special temporary alcohol license, Hopkinton Center for the Arts fundraiser annual gala. Select Board will consider approving a special temporary alcohol license application for all alcoholic beverages from Kelly Grill on behalf of the Hopkinton Center for the Arts for its annual fundraiser gala to be held at the HCA, 98 Hayden Row on Saturday, November 2, 2019, from 7 till 11 p.m. 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Estimated number of attendees is 120. Tickets will be sold. Alcohol will be served by tip-certified servers from Metro West Catering.
Mr. Chair, I move the event as written.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? It carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Next is the South Asian Circle for the Hopkinton Festival of Lights here? Not yet? All right, we'll table that until they get here, since we're running 10 minutes or so early. Good evening, Mr. Catino.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. for the Pledge of Allegiance. The next item is this Legacy Farms HCA amendment that has been tabled till probably the next meeting or so. Appointments. The Select Board will consider making the following appointments. Traffic Constable Brittany Remillard for a term to expire June 30, 2022. Brittany is employed as a full-time public safety dispatcher in Hopkinton. Chief, you want to talk about that, or should we just?
No, she's been there for over a year. She's a great employee, and she's going to supplement our detail force.
Okay, so you back this?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
So moved to approve.
Second. Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Carries. Town manager report.
Okay. The first item on Norman's report is the Boston Marathon Invitational Entry Program policy. And as outlined in his memo, it's the same as the last couple of years. So it's there for board discussion and vote as to adoption of the policy and the process
For this year.
for this year.
It is. I was reading the applicants, $5,000. Was it 5 last year or was it 4?
Yes, it was. It was
It was
5.
5 last year, okay.
Okay. You need anything from us on that, Elaine?
Pardon me?
You don't need anything from us on that, right?
We need to vote.
You need a vote.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't mandate the $5,000 or $4,000, but that's the market, if you will, and suggested expectation.
The commitment
Yeah,
to try.
people raise, we could get a number.
Yep.
So I'll move that the Board of Selectmen approve the 2020 Boston Marathon Invitational bid process
Second.
as presented by the town manager, so.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, abstained, carries?
And then I can outline what's been occurring with the Main Street Corridor project. As indicated in Norman's memo, the Historic District Commission approved the issuance of certificates of appropriateness for the project components that are in the district, the two districts, 78 Main Street and the Center District, and a certificate of non-applicability for items that are not subject to the review. So those should be coming out shortly.
Okay.
The MIPA review application comment period is closed, and a certificate is potentially issued by the end of the month. The revised right-of-way plans have been submitted to Mass DOT for review, and the appraiser will be sending out notification letters to property owners within the next week or two, and communication went out to the property owners that this is coming.
Yep.
To expect that.
Saw the draft of that letter.
Right. So the VHB and the town have submitted the undergrounding design revisions to the utilities entity, and they will be meeting to discuss that shortly. And the 100% design submission is scheduled for December. In the memo, there's a list of the specific plan revisions that have made after meetings with the butters, and I can run through those, or we can just refer to them here.
Yeah, we don't need to run through those.
Okay, all right. And so that's what's happening with the project.
Okay.
And then with regard to the Pratt Farm Master Plan team, as noted, we met with Laura Davis, Scott Ritter from Beta Group, and Kevin McKinnon from Weston and Sampson to talk about the conceptual plan as it relates to the well and farming and how that's all going to work together. So Weston and Sampson will take the information regarding organic farming and work on a nitrogen loading calculation, so we'll know how the two can operate together, because we don't want to jeopardize the water supply by putting the farm in the wrong location. So they're doing that analysis, and they'll report back.
Good.
And that's where we are.
Good. And what about the annual town meeting?
So we included in the packet the calendar for the annual town meeting. It's, everything starts now.
All right, liaison reports?
Well, I went to the Historic District Commission hearing, and where they passed by vote to uphold the Main Street Corridor project.
Okay. Mr. Herr?
I don't think anything since our last meeting. I think I explained about MWRTA last time, so I'm all set.
Okay. Mr. Catino?
I was at the Growth Study Committee meeting, where we're still trying to crunch some data. They are looking for, so as I said, some funding to get some of the data, but Mr. Lazarus said that it can be taken care of, and we'll work on that part.
Okay. And I've met a bunch of times with the open space. Seems to, I think we met 3 or 4 times this month so far, so. We have a new chair who's very exuberant on keeping open space open, which is what the committee's all about.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I also went to the assessors meeting, and John Neese was going to be here tonight. We have to make a decision on the means testing amount to be given for an exemption, but there is a question in the way that the law is written. It can be interpreted 2 ways. So I think that they're going to get that straightened out. We will probably have that at the next meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. So we still have a couple of minutes. Actually, do we, or are we back?
We have one more item, the
We do have, do we?
temporary license for the South
for
Asian
the-
Circle.
Is the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton, are they here yet?
This is their second year, I think, doing this, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had no issues
We had a
with them
temporary
last year.
license last year, correct?
Yep.
And there were no issues with it that I recall, and
They've sold
Yeah.
out.
Did they do it I thought it was in Halston last
Is it
year.
a different location? Maybe.
I don't think it was at the HCA. And I don't think alcohol was served.
Okay. So, I think we're gonna probably, just because they're not here, does anyone have any issues with it?
I'd be willing to make a motion to approve the request for a special temporary alcohol license for the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton to hold their event on November 9th from 5:30 until 10 PM at the HCA.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Carries? So, I think that's it. We got a little guy here from the Boy Scouts. What's going on, buddy?
I'm just here to,
Come on up, have a seat.
Gotta sit at
Right up. Sit in one of the big chairs.
We need to get him on TV.
Yeah,
so I'm
There you
just
are.
here
Check it
to kind of watch the meeting, and I'm supposed to do it for one of my scouting requirements. I'm supposed to listen to like the meeting, listen to the issues, and then, you know, like listen to the varying opinions
yep.
and take in those opinions and like write about it.
Oh, it's one of the short.
I'm sorry you can't.
I know the show ever.
You should have been here last time.
If we knew you were coming, we would have
We had
scheduled a
11
meeting on
o'clock
trash, on greyhounds, on downtown.
Trees,
on-
trash, and trails.
Yeah, so.
Please come again.
Yeah, you are welcome to come anytime. And as a matter of fact, I believe before our next meeting on, I think it's the 5th or the 6th.
5th.
There is a group of Boy Scouts that are going to come up, and we'll talk to them before the meeting and kind of talk to them about what we do for a job here and why we do it. And Claire Wright and I both did it last year, and it was really fun, where the kids asked better questions than the parents. So you're welcome to come up next week, the next meeting we have. We'd love to have you come up, and you'll be a seasoned professional. You can stand up with me while they fire questions at me. You can help me answer. So, and what was your name?
I go by Ash,
Ash?
kind of my nickname.
Okay.
Most people know me by Ash.
Okay. Board members, any
I have a
questions?
question for Ash. Is this
Yes.
for your civics badge? Is that what it is?
There's a community, citizenship in the community badge, so if you want to consider it a civics badge, then I guess you
Great.
can.
I'm dating myself by saying civics badge. That's what we have.
Anyone
Great,
else?
Ash, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming up. All right, I will entertain a motion to end this meeting.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? Carries? Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Catino, we have signature.